Is that okay? Let me know how the voice volume is too. Hello, guys. Hello, hello, hello. This is Mr. Flo and Brainy. It's been a while, hasn't it? Man, it's still loud in my ear. Let me turn this down. Down, down, down. Turn that up. Uh, should be okay, right? Okay. Um, welcome. Welcome back. It has definitely been a long time, and miss you guys very much. It's been an interesting year so far. Very interesting year for everybody. And but we're here. We're still here. We're still working. Still chugging away. And kind of the reason for the stream in particular is to kind of talk about the project, obviously, but the more specifically to talk about the last update, the last State of the Darkness address, which was in some people's minds maybe a little lacking, and I actually don't totally disagree. So that's kind of why I felt like a stream would be great, kind of reignite a little bit of the fire, so to speak. Um, so that will be one part of the stream, the conversation. And then I also want to kind of touch on this other Darkness Rises game. I'm sure you've heard of it and seen it on our Facebook, on the Reddit, um, and all kinds of stuff. I'm getting tons of messages from their players asking me to fix their accounts and, all kinds of weird stuff. It's pretty entertaining in a way. I'm not too annoyed by it at all, really. I just tell them, I mean, come on, like if you can't read a website on Facebook that says this is Darkness Rises, a project that's reviving an old mud, like people don't even read. They just click like, which is okay. I mean, it's not anything against us at all, but it's just silly. But anyway, we've been getting a lot of people, looking at our stuff. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of like an awkward bonus, I guess. But so I haven't been too crazy about it. But it is an interesting kind of snafu, if you will. And then there's the whole point of, well, do we butt heads with the actual name, trademark, and all that? But we don't know at this point, so we won't worry about it right now. So let's see. I guess we can talk about the update. I'll transfer over to this one here. And then, so we did get some new portraits in. Thank you very much to our main supporter. You know who you are. And these ones that you'll see are in your honor for you and for everybody, obviously. Okay. Uh, I already grabbed it. Oh, this was working earlier. Sorry, guys. It's been a while. Okay. Oh, why is it not working? Oh, I moved the files. That's why. Okay. Well, let's skip that for now. Sorry, Vision. Good times. So then the next thing that I mentioned is, so this is just kind of a rough draft. I'll blow it up a little bit so you guys can see it more. This is my kind of personal tracker, since I'm basically the head of content development, superficial title. But basically, this is the first list of things that I could do in one sitting and, without giving away too much detail. But I want to also make this public. It's just a Google sheet. and I'm thinking of just making it public so you guys can just look at it whenever you want, and then we'll see how that works. I haven't set that up yet, but if it does work and I can share it, and it's works, then great. So just keep in touch about updates on that. So let's break it down. I'm going to let's see. Let's take the background. Let's see. It's so weird. That's okay. So all right. So we'll break it down. So guild names, guild titles, guild trainers, realm titles, realm leaders. Why is it working now? That is so ridiculous. There we go. And it goes away. That's fine. I will fix that in just a moment. Anyway, so we have basically as a content developer for this project, we have to create a lot of new content basically, and that is to make sure that we deviate enough from the original so that there's no issues with people crying and hey, we made this or whatever, but there's been some debate back and forth on that. We don't really feel that it's highly necessary to rewrite everything, but in a way we basically kind of are, just to prepare for both scenarios. So the ones that are complete already are, it's true, they're kind of the easy part, but a lot of hours are put into them for original titles and storylines and dialogue, things like that. So there's going to be a lot of in-depth detail and kind of immersion, if you will. And that's where I really put a lot of effort in. So I want to make sure that you guys, are psyched about that as much as I am. So yeah, go to the guild titles and realm titles. So there's 260, 73 some odd titles, all brand new. It was very difficult, but some of them are kind of slightly similar to the old ones. But it's a new game. It's a continuation of the story and everything. So I wanted to really make sure the titles were cleaned up and new, and went with the guild names, the new guild names, etc., etc. And then so that was a lot of fun. That took me. I mean, I'm still actually editing it to this day. So, the portraits that work are those are the armored, the first level of armored portraits that are colored, and those are like special portraits that will be like an achievement, or I don't know, we might have a small store or something just for cosmetic stuff like that. But anyway, I'll show you I'll show you all the nice portraits, the regular ones that were colored in a moment here. So guild items, guild quests. So this I put in under design phase because although the content is blocked out, it's not completely written, and a good chunk of it is going to be based on in-game testing and alpha/beta testing. At this point, it's probably going to be like a beta test, since we've had a lot of client work already, and and then I'll go into the change from standalone software over to web. So I'll get into that too. Remember me that. Anyway, so guild quests, or let's go guild items. Again, total rewrite. We wanted to include some kind of fun connections to the old game, but we're not just going to do a complete copycat. So what we're going to do is we'll have new items, but we'll still kind of have a little bit of some fun stuff, to keep it feeling like the original game as well. And then of course setting, what they actually do, what spells they have, what their armor values are, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Those are tweaks that will take place once everything is online again, and again I'll go into that in a little bit. Same with guild quests. We have a new system that I've been kind of pushing, which is more quests, um, and I kind of want to make it um, a little more, just make more of them, so that there's more content for people to do when you're playing and leveling up and raising ranks in your guild and so forth, and getting new items and maybe going on a quest to get said item, which is something that we've discussed multiple times over the last couple of years. So that's definitely in place. It's probably a little bit more than 25%, but um, all the guild ranks, right? There's you join the guild, and there's level 7, 11, 16. So there's 4 standard for 24 guilds. So that's almost 100, or yeah, almost 100 quests, all on just the basic ones, and then there's room for more on top of that in the end game as well. So it's a lot of stuff to fine tune and make it fun. But it's all blocked out and it's all in the works. And once the client's up, we'll basically get the first 4 standard quests ready, essentially for testing, and then we'll just kind of leave it at that. So guild trainer is pretty simple, straightforward storyline, names, kind of character information and stuff like that. Realm titles also very difficult. We love the old system, but new story, or continuation of the story in a way, and then giving us you know the ability to create all new titles. So very difficult to do for sure. There's only so many words, but we've got a first draft. That looks pretty good. So we'll kind of get to that when the time comes. Realm leaders, same thing. So as you know, or as you might not know, Darkness Rises is a continuation story that takes place after the old story essentially is completely destroyed, and it's kind of a alliteration to Electronic Arts buying the game and shutting it down. So that was kind of triggered the inspiration for the story for this game. So we're gonna literally kind of uh, go back where we left off and kind of continue, and this all new kind of storyline unfolds. So a lot of fun to make. Um, Picking and kind of writing the backstory for the new, demigods or gods, whatever you want to call them. They're the realm leaders, and they have complete backstories and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun on our part developing that, and looking forward to sharing that. And you guys know, you've seen the opening of the show, right? Like that's the guy on the left is Freyr Nyardsson. He's based off of Frey from Norse mythology. And then the middle guy is the orc leader for chaos, and then Lich Duke Danius on the right for evil. I'm actually blanking on the orc's name because I've been working on so many other different things. But so yeah, so that's the whole story kind of being rewritten. Gal Halor is his name. Okay, so colorized portraits. So that's kind of a work in progress right now, obviously. And so I'm just going to take a couple seconds and actually fix this right now, so that we can actually see them. And feel free to ask questions, or let me know how you guys are doing. It's been an interesting summer for sure. Okay, so bear with me just a moment. Be all out of order. I had it all set up, and then I moved all the files. That's done. If I just put them all back. Let's see. There. I guess not. I'll just have to redo it. That's fine. Okay, add files. So I'll add these again. Boom, is the armored ones. And we'll add all of the colorized portraits of the normal, the starter portraits, if you will. Okay, boom. Should work. Go ahead. Go. Okay. A little bit of lag here. Don't worry, I'm still here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that if I lagged. That looks cool, right? Okay. So these are again our colored portraits. Thank you again very much to Vision and our other supporters who have donated very kindly for us to be able to get these, as well as our super awesome artist Bartolomeo. So many thanks again. And so anyway, let's continue. So yeah, line art portraits, obviously. So there's 84 total portraits that we paid Bartolomeo to create. And they're just the line art kind of black and white sort of versions. And I don't have those loaded on this right now. So, but if you want to see them, I can show them. Okay. Alpha areas. So this has gone back and forth a few times. It's obviously still in development phase because we have to implement it into the database. And so the update on that is we have a database that is offline, which is why the website has been down. But what Mike is doing is he's preparing the new web client, and so we've been incredibly busy. So it's hard to get a lot of time into the client right now, but it doesn't mean we're not working on it. So he puts as much time as he can, as usual. And he's, I have some updates from him that I'll show you. I won't show you, but I'll say them. So basically, we had a concern that not enough was being talked about. So I talked to Mike. I was like, hey, so how's it going? Like let me know what you're doing. Like, how's your daily workflow going? And basically, he did move to a new house to start a new job, and moved his whole family and everything. But he's also just getting his feet on the ground there, so it's taking him some time to get acquainted. He's got more people in the house living with him, and he's got 3 beautiful boys. So he's being a father first, and all that, which I know firsthand is super hard. So hats off to Mike for having the trifecta. I only have one, and my kid had one. So anyway, but every night he puts as much time and energy as he can into Darkness Rises as well. So rest assured, there is progress being made. I know it's the same story, but it's true. And basically, at this point, his goal is to, get that 1 or 2 weekends, maybe 3, where he can put 6 to 8 hours, a day into finishing the first kind of bare bones web client. And then once we get that going, we'll transfer the database from our old server, get the website online. So it's a work in progress. And I know I wish I had more. I could say, hey, so alpha starts in a month, but we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So, basically, and then so I can also kind of fill you in as to kind of why we ditched the software development aspect of creating an application, standalone client, and basically there's just too many inconsistencies with the platform that he was using, which is called Qt, and it's kind of like an off version of C#, C+, and all that. And there were just too many issues with forcing it to do things that it can't do. and we want to have a custom client that gels well with everything that that Mike wants to do, and he's a software engineer by trade and at heart, so he really wants it to be crisp, custom, and functioning, and easy to integrate. So that's why ultimately he decided, what, my newfound knowledge with software engineering points to web development for the client. And it's going to be kind of strange. I totally understand, what you guys might be thinking. But, at the end of the day, it'll reach more homes, more players. They won't feel like they have to get a Windows or some kind of other machine just to play the game. So it's kind of a positive in a lot of ways, for sure. And we obviously want to have the game run smoothly. So why invest in the standalone client when we know it's just probably not going to work out as well or very well in the end? So we didn't want to continue that. So unfortunately, that does set the project back a little bit, but we're still working, so no problems. Let's see what else I wrote down here. Yeah, so he's working every night on the C# web server, and as soon as that's a little more developed, we'll make an announcement. Talk about getting the database going. I'll keep you guys in the loop. Anyway, so that was a long tangent. Alpha areas. Let me get back to that. So we went back and forth because there's a few things that we want to kind of test, or that I want to test, and so that's going to include some music stuff, alpha areas that are kind of throwaway, and then alpha areas that are not throwaway, basically. And we obviously need to. My wife's calling me. Bad timing. Why is this frozen? The music's frozen. Okay. So those are they're gonna be fairly simple. I'm gonna try to keep them, kind of dumbed down, just so that we could get in and have people log in, like, just kind of stress test everything, just have kind of the first true open alpha, I guess, in a way. We had a lot of closed alphas, and if I have enough time, if I can do it quickly enough, I'll show you guys, kind of the progress that we made with all the old clients. So I'm sure it's been a while, and maybe there's some new viewers out there or whatever, and then I can show you guys what the client actually looks like, or what it will look like. Okay, so my music thing crashed. So we start. There we go. Okay, so let's keep continuing on here. I'm actually going to join in with Brent here. He's our kind of assistant, creative dude who wrote this song completely from scratch. He's a writer, and he does all kinds of creative stuff. So he helped us with the client artwork and so forth. So yeah, would like to welcome him to the show, Mr. Brent. Hello, sir. I don't think he was ready. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, how's that? Can you hear me okay?
Hello.
There he is. What's going on, dude? Okay.
Yeah, 1 second.
it's a little awkward. I know having you jump in while watching the stream. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna finish up the tracker real quick, and then we'll kind of jump into it. Okay. Glasses are a little blurry. That's good. Okay, so beta areas is kind of similar, but the beta areas are going to be.
If you could do me a favor and have your mic open so that I can.
Oh, that's a good idea. Sure. Yeah, good idea.
There we go. Yeah, sorry.
No problem. All right. How's that?
Great. Yeah, because the stream has a delay, so I can't
Yeah.
really, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally forgot. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm gonna finish the tracker real quick and kind of just continue. Um, so okay, so the beta areas are more legit official testing because we're gonna test kind of the areas of content that we have planned for basically the opening of the game. So, you know, more on that later. You know, there's a lot done already. I kept it all in the development phase rather than it's definitely not in the design phase because um, from our previous streams from years ago, months ago, and a year ago, a year and a half ago, you guys saw that I had written all the areas and was working on those already and finished a good chunk of them. The rooms are done. Room descriptions are the hardest part. You know, kind of. We'll get back to that once we're ready. So that's what the beta areas are. And then again, as you guys know, probably the imported DFC areas. It's a lot of rooms in that one file that that's floating around, and so that's not really new. There's no new news there, but um, we do need to connect a lot of areas still, and without access to the database and all that, we haven't made progress with that. But it's not a big deal. On stream, you guys, if you remember, myself, Daleth, and crap, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. Do you remember Brent?
Devilish.
Devilish, yes, man. Sorry, guys. But we had a lot of fun with them fixing up evil, and they, being evil characters or players from evil from DFC and DF, obviously knew a lot and remembered a lot and had some assets of their own to kind of make evil look really nice. So evil is more or less done in a way, and chaos is looking good. The major cities are looking great. But yeah, there's still some work to do, and we'll have a lot of fun with that when the client goes live again. Opening event. Okay, so I'm sure you guys probably like, what the hell is that, or what are the events below that? Opening event, like I mentioned, is it's kind of linked with the beta areas. So we're gonna have a special DFC DF like invasion experience sort of, just so you guys know what I'm talking about, and it'll be a special event just for the opening of the game, and it has its own storyline and so forth. And so I spent a long time writing a lot of dialogue and story for this specifically for each realm. So I had to go 3 times and really get a fun experience that'll be unique. And Brent's read it, and we like it a lot. So that's kind of an estimation on where we are with that. And then the 3 below that, I won't talk about that too much, but the next 3 kind of big events, those are all content related. And we've been working with Brent and his lovely lady Viper, who's an amazing writer as well, to create content for basically like a big patch release. So that's what that is. And then the 2 after that are basically the same thing, but different content, obviously, for later in the game. And that's pretty much what the tracker is, and version 1, I guess, if you will. So yeah. Any questions on that at all, or Brent? Any comments on that?
It looks like you got everything
Okay, cool. I thought so too, but I definitely it'll be a work in progress. I'll keep updating it and all that. Okay, so let's. Still don't know why the background isn't working. That's another detail. Okay, so let's move on. I'll leave the tracker up so you can read it. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so I guess let's see. That's pretty much the majority of what I want to talk about. So we'll try not to keep it too long. But with Brent here, um, he wanted to go over a project that he's working on, kind of in the interim while we're sorting DR out. And Brent, take it away. Go ahead and let us know what you're working on.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I'm working on a project, and it's a side project. It's a fun side project called Project DF, and it's separate from Darkness Rises, um, but it's kind of a mix of DF and DFC at the moment. So we're using a third-party client, and some of you MUD users might know Mush client to play it. We mostly have an evil realm with like full loot PvP. We have some classes from the other realms like Paladin, Monk, and Lizard. We have a few areas from Chaos, Good, and Cade in as well, but they're just kind of like floating around, and those areas aren't really connected. But a large portion of evil is actually connected. So, and that's definitely going to help with Darkness Rises later on, because I've gone through the files and I've connected all of the missing pieces. So that was fun. Um, and by the way, Endless Night is endless. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Everybody loves that area, huh?
yeah. It's definitely in an alpha kind of thing at the moment, but we've recently made like quite a lot of progress with the combat system
Right.
and a bunch of other systems. Um, it's utilizing the old Coffee Mod engine, which has been around for like almost 20 years. It's pre-built, so it's like a sandbox Lego set that you can kind of put together so that people who don't know how to code can kind of tinker with it,
Right.
and if they have if they have the patience. But if you know how to code, you can customize it. So we've got someone help us customize a lot of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a couple people in that we've been testing around and playing and having fun, and we might be sending out some invites here soon. So
So how
yeah.
can people like show interest? Like, what should they do to contact you? Like Facebook or what?
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to try it out, go ahead and send me. You can send me a message on if you have Twitch. There's the Twitch chat. Sorry, you can
Mhm.
send me a message on there. You can I can provide a link.
Is it is it Azir X?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Are you still there?
Chat says they can't hear me.
Oh crap. Um. Okay. Thanks, chat. Um. That's weird. I'm not seeing. Oh. Hang on. Am I just not seeing Twitch chat? My stream chat at all? Um. Weird.
Are you muted in the other chat?
No. Okay. Cancel that. Hello. Hello. Okay. I guess I had the volume down a little too bit. The music is trying make sure it wasn't too loud. Okay, I'll just pause the music for now. Okay, say something now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, that should be better, right? Am I missing stream chat? I've been checking the stream chat and there hasn't been anything on here from me.
Hey, chat. Can you hear me?
Weird. This thing. Oh wow, that's weird. What's happening? Okay.
Oh, you can hear me now? All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So, I don't know if any of you caught what I was saying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of repeat.
Yeah. Start over. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So basically, what I'm working on is a fun side project called Project DF. And it's separate from the work that I'm doing with Darkness Rises. This is my own kind of fun thing. I have a few other people helping me work on it, but it's kind of a mix of DF and DFC at the moment, where we mostly have an evil realm with full loot PvP. We have some classes from other realms like Paladin, Monk, Lizard. It's kind of a mix. We have a few areas from Chaos Good and Cade in as well. And it's definitely an alpha at the moment, but we've recently made a lot of progress with the combat system. And thanks to our programmer, you know who you are. Thank you very much. So it's using it's utilizing the Coffee Mud engine. If anybody's familiar with that, it's almost 20 years now. It's a pre-built engine, and it's basically a sandbox kind of Lego set that's already been put together so that people who don't know how to code can kind of tinker with it if they have the patience. That's just because over almost 20 years, they've put a lot into the engine, and there's a lot to do. A lot of it's almost like bloat, within it that needs to be removed or whatever. But if you know how to code, you can customize it. So that makes it really fun and interesting. And that's basically where I'm at with the project. So it's kind of an in between fun thing for all of us to do,
right?
From now until Darkness Rises starts. And so if anybody is interested in trying this out, I don't want to overload any servers, so I'm kind of probably gonna have a few more people come in and check it out. But if you're interested, please let me know. I can post our Discord and the Twitch chat, and you can get a hold of me through my email, which I'll also post in there. And yeah, I think I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Cool. Yeah, I apologize about missing all the chat. That's absolutely crappy. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh, and I wanted to just real quick. This project that I'm working on doesn't really have its own kind of custom client. Those people out there who've been playing MUDs for a while know that there are third-party clients like Mush Client or whatever. And in order to kind of get like the close DFC feeling, I've had to use the Mush Client with some scripts I found online.
Right.
That have a chat window and health bars, like DFC had. So we have a whole Discord set up. We have the files set up there for people to join in. So if you're interested, throw out the Discord, and people can come check it out. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Um, so that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to go over. Is there anything about Darkness Rises, anything that you wanted to bring up as well, Brent?
Um, I think the content development tracker is really cool. Uh, it helps to see just overall where we're at. So
Cool.
I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, and the art looks really good. I like all the colored
Cool.
portraits.
Yeah, yeah, they turned out really great. I'm gonna tweak a couple of them, just some small things like some of the eyes look a little off, but I mean you did an excellent job. Um, and yeah, so if you guys are feeling generous, feel free to help us finish the artwork. We do kind of have one major supplier and backer who's been helping us out, but if you also want to chip in, more than welcome to. And you can donate. There's a link down below, and the URL is right above my camera, my head right there. And it costs about $5 to color in all the old portraits, and the other ones are a little bit more expensive, but I won't bore you with details. Either way, we appreciate your patronage, your patronage, and I do personally just want to apologize for kind of the lack of streams, but I pretty much made my opinion clear to everybody, hopefully, that when there's a good chunk of content, then I will absolutely want to stream. But there's also kind of the last few months have been pretty trying in IRL, so it hasn't been too easy to really clearly work on just this and have it be fun and kind of relaxing in a way as well too. So we're still here, still working. You can reach us on our Twitch app as usual. And so I know I kind of missed a few things. I could probably add some links to all the things that are online right now. But I'm assuming that our viewers already know all of that, so we'll just stick with that for now. So yeah, that was fun. I don't see any questions or anything elsewhere, so I think I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I don't have an outro or anything, so let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. I'll have to work on an outro for next time. But yeah, so you can follow us on Twitter. We do have a Twitter account. It's development_dr. I'll go ahead and type that on here. I should always have that up. Add some text. Twitter slash develop. Is that what it was? Development? I already forgot what I said. Yeah. I'm a professional. Okay, there we go. So you can follow us there. It's not terribly active, but when there's streams, when there's anything that I can just shoot out and let you guys know about other than Facebook, follow us there. Follow our stream, so you know when we're streaming. Obviously, let's see, and then I'll post a link to the video. I don't edit them because it takes a lot of time to do that, and I don't have that right now, but we'll see. All the old videos are not edited, so I don't plan on changing that just yet, so sorry about that. But hopefully this was an informative stream. And yeah, that's about it for me. Brent, thanks for coming on with us today.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's about it for me, guys. I will go ahead and give you one more play of our awesome theme song. And the stream is not loading anymore, so I'll just do that. All right, we're out here, guys. Have a wonderful Rest of your weekend. Stay cool out there. Don't get too sunburned and all that good stuff. And I'll shut up so we can enjoy this song. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.